Hey guys, welcome back to another unboxing video. My name is Thomas and today I've got something super cool in the mail. So let's galvanize the occasion with a spot of Lagavulin. Cheers guys. Wow, exquisite. Wow, so nice. Right, this big ass motherfucker. I've been waiting on this thing for forever. I can't wait to dive into it. Now, by now, I guess you'll have seen the trailer video that I put out some amount of time ago. Not entirely sure when I'm going to release this and whatnot. It's always a bit of puzzling, but still. Oh. Carefully cut into this. Whoa. Be careful not to accidentally hit my actual keyboard there, or I might stop the recording accidentally. So, let's see. So, originally I had this planned as the end of year video for 2024, I think. It was delayed several times, but here we finally have it. Whoa. Okay, let me first just get rid of all this. Makes my life a little bit easier. Apologies for dinging the camera there. Sorry, the microphone. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. So, there we have it. Oh. Yeah, still there. There we have it. The model B104. So, this is another one of Joe's offerings. How? I guess the tape is at the bottom. This is another one of Joe's offerings, who also makes the reproduction Model F keyboards. But this is not quite the same as a reproduction. This is something much more, let's say, innovative. Okay. Oh, it says here on the side, ship number, blah, 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 dates, 5th of May, 2026. Model B, designed in the USA, made in China. Oh, look at that. Okay. So. Fuck. Okay, did I get everything out? I think so. Wow, that's a very loud box. I think I got everything out. So. There you go. Oh, look at this big ass motherfucker. Oh, isn't she beautiful? Oh, that's so nice. So this thing is available in a wide range of colors and options and whatnot. And I thought about which one I wanted, but I decided to go with classic industrial grey and black and white keycaps, kind of standard Beamspring style. So let's have a look at what's actually in the extras before I get to the main bit. But first, more whiskey. Wow, so good. I love smoky whiskies. So this is the keycap set. I wouldn't be surprised if by default it normally doesn't come with the keycaps installed, much like his Model F keyboards. I guess these are just the remains of the set that he installed with a couple of optionals, such as inverted color ones. Looks like a split space bar as well. So I'm guessing there's some options there. An ANSI enter as well. I think you can do both ANSI and ISO with these. Yes, and a couple of loose switches. which I also asked for, a couple of extra loose switches. Now, this is the Mark II of the Beamspring, well, the new Beamspring switch. I covered these new Beamspring ones in a teardown video ages ago, and they were slightly different back then. They had a metal top ring, well, retaining ring, instead of this plastic one. I think he slightly refined the design over time, and and I'm really curious to see what he's come up with. I asked for a couple of extra switches. I always really like that, and obviously, should any of this ever fail in the future, then I can always change them over, but it shouldn't be too necessary, I'm guessing. This other bag contains keycap puller, looks like spacebar stabilizer, some extra springs, some cork feet, which I'll have a look at in a sec to see if it's installed yet or not. Yeah, some other stabilizers, basically some more replacement stuff. That's very nice. And of course, the feared green booklet. Blah, blah, blah. So, the note of transit damage, which is possible on these. This one, the packing list, which I'm not going to show you. I'll just get out of the way real quick. Now, let's see. Yeah, it all does already come with the feet installed. That's nice. So this is ID number 462. I'm guessing that's the serial number. I didn't ask for a special serial number, that you can do that. Part number B104, date of manufacture 5th of May 2026. Very nice. So what's going on here for the uninitiated? So Joe's well known for making reproduction Model F keyboards, which were based on buckling springs, but now he's tackling beam springs, or rather this is the second round. He made a Mark I Beamspring keyboard quite a while ago. That was a very interesting attempt. I hadn't tried that, but this is the second attempt, which is, let's say, a little bit more authentic. So he's gone with a big ass case. I've provided several of the measurements of an authentic Beamspring keyboard, by the way, so he could use that in the design of this keyboard. And the biggest difference between this and the Model F, I guess, is the switches. These are Beamsprings, and these are new ones, which he designed based on the classic design, but with some updates. So now they've got a MX cross mount, so you can use MX mount caps rather than the proprietary ones that IBM used, which were only compatible with buckling springs. And these come in modules rather than the let's say shared barrel plate and assembly that the Model F used, which has a couple of advantages. Now, I really can't wait to try this out, so let me connect this keyboard real quick to the computer. Fucking hell, I'm so excited that I'm kind of all over the place. Sorry if this video is a little bit chaotic, but then again, I guess that's what you get with unscripted videos. So his Model F keyboards are known to sometimes incur transit damage, where some of the switches can get slightly misaligned internally. I've been told that can also happen here, but because this uses loose modules, this is easier to repair, because you can just take it out, reattach the fly plate, which is then the part that gets loosened. I wouldn't be surprised if... Oh no, this is actually working. I was going to say if that's actually one, but this seems to be working fine. So anyway, let's try it out. Oh yes, and I forgot to mention, obviously I had the optional solenoid installed for some absolute sonic mayhem. You can also switch that off. I'm not entirely sure what the default keybind for that is. I'll look that up, but still, let's just do some quick little blurbing on this. It sounds like a fucking sewing machine. This is amazing. So, yeah, the feet. Oh yes. It's oh man, it's. I don't want to review this keyboard right now because I want to leave that to the actual review video. But oh, okay. So let's give a general pointer with these switches. So even though this was made by IBM, just like the later buckling spring keyboards, Beamsprings are known to feel and also sound actually quite different from buckling springs keyboards. And the tactility, which a lot of people kind of automatically assume is super strong or something, is not at all. It's actually very soft tactility. It's like punching through a very, very thin eggshell, which someone once described it as. And I thought that was a really nice way of putting it. So, ooh, it's... oh man, I shouldn't be making these orgastic sounds on here, but trust me, it's it's really fucking good. Oh man. Now there'll probably be a limit to how quickly the solenoid can keep up to your typing. That was a limitation with the original keyboards as well. I mean, there's just there's only so quick that the solenoid can reset itself. You might be able to tinker a little bit with that, but still there'll be some... oh, this one's poking a little bit above the rest. Maybe the switch is not entirely correctly seated inside the chassis, but it's still working just fine. Interesting. I'll have a look at what this is exactly. So to conform a little bit closer to the feel of the original Beamspring caps, he didn't go for the two-piece cylindrical PBT keycaps that he put on his Model Fs. I mean, there's no reason to do so anyway, because they did have the same mount. These are much more like SA caps, and I'm not entirely sure whether these are by the same manufacturer. I don't know if Signature Plastics made these, or actually who made them at all, but they are very much SA-like keycaps, so quite tall and cylindrically impressed, as you can see here. Very nice. I guess they'll be either double shot ABS or double shot PBT. I'm not entirely sure which of the two it is, but it looks sublimely white. This really does remind me of the best in looks and form of a Beamspring and a Model M keyboard, actually, because one of the principal limitations of a Beamspring keyboard was that all of them are so old, they're kind of 70s, that they have these diabolical weird layouts and they're super tall. You're basically typing like that. And now we have a normal modern Model M layout, and it's a Beamspring keyboard, and you can use MX keycaps. So man, I can't. I don't know if this does special things to you guys as well, but I kind of wish I would demonstrate them without the solenoid as well, because they have a very interesting sound to them. All beam or plate spring switches have a kind of unique sound, which admittedly is not for everybody, but it's very nice anyway. Oh man, I think I should stop talking about this keyboard before I don't even need to do a review anymore. Although I guess there's actually still loads and loads to talk about at that point. This is just very superficial. But in any case, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. In fact, I'll have some more whiskey. Thoroughly recommend Lagavulin, by the way. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.